You have to do your homework, definitely. And then you have to pretty much start looking around to asking for those quotes. You got to know what you're about to write.
There are definitely a lot of opportunities that we can start taking to actually start prospecting. And I know business owners, they definitely appreciate somebody who's good at that.
Take a big step back and look at the big picture of we have a whole list of prospects if we just use our words and personalities, right? Hello and welcome back to all of our friends. We're going to talk right now about mastering the commercial insurance sales and how to grow our agency fast. Ooh, we're going to be like Too Fast, Too Furious, number 16 or something. I'm not quite sure what number they're on yet. But if we could make it all insurance related, wouldn't movies be funner? There's
Yes.
not a whole lot of insurance specific movies out there, and the ones that are out there are kind of fun and funny. But every movie should be like, I'm sorry, you just caused an accident. Did you have high enough liability limit? Your semi truck just drove off the side of the road. What happened to the load? Was it fully insured properly? Right? So if we can get to the point where we can grow our agency fast, maybe not like Fast and Furious, but just fast and grow sales, it is helpful for all of us, especially as the market shifts. So there's some key steps that we need to focus on as we do this. And I think that is where we will begin our conversation today. We're going to talk about what are the steps? How do we make it foolproof? What do we need to know to really get confident and comfortable in it? And how do we make commercial insurance the next frontier in our agency, especially if we've been focusing on personal lines, right? Personal lines clients tend to find us, but in commercial, we have to go find them. So we'll talk about the 5-step game plan to make a transition smoothly and grow it and make the things happen. So our first step is getting organized, but we can't get stuck there. So who, Latoya or Sarah, just what do you want to talk about? How do we get organized to make us successful?
I'll jump in there, Stephen. Getting organized is pretty much one of your most important steps. There's no such thing as over planning. You need to take a deep dive into your carriers, know what their appetites look like, know where your best submissions can be sent off to. Do what's natural. Search that marketplace. You need to know the type of business and the volume that you want to write. You also need to know like what the core challenges is in the markets as well as with the particular business. You have to do your homework, definitely. And then you have to pretty much start looking around to asking for those quotes. You got to know what you're about to write.
Step 2, there's so much we can do, like lead generation. Sarah, you want to take this one?
Sure. So I know in terms of leads, a lot of people think that commercial leads are really hard to come by, but there are definitely a lot of opportunities that we can start taking to actually start prospecting. And I know business owners, they definitely appreciate somebody who's good at that. So some of the things that you can try for the following 90 days, we want to start call certificate requesters. We want to call past commercial clients and see if we can win them back. We don't want to let those old leads go to waste. It's really important to make sure that we're calling our past unsold quotes. We can attend networking. We can do some community events. We can call your attorney, your accountant, or your banker and try to set up some meetings to see if they can be the center of influence. We can also call our current commercial clients and ask for referrals. I think referrals are honestly one of the highest reviews or the best way that somebody can actually give you kudos is by saying, hey, I work with this person. They're excellent. And I feel like my friends should work with them too. So definitely doing what we can to see if we can get more referrals is really important. We want to look at X-date providers. So here at APP, we love MetLeo. We want to research our lead providers such as Bold Penguin and do drop-by calls. So these are definitely some ways that we can go ahead and start generating those leads.
I think one of the other things we can do too is talk to our personal lines clients when they call in and find out where they work. Do they have a business? Are they the owner? Like, I love all the fields and all the things, but I think sometimes we also forget to just take a big step back and look at the big picture of we have a whole list of prospects if we just use our words and personalities, right? I also love like LinkedIn. I think you said that. Like, get active on LinkedIn, look for things we want to target. Like Latoya said, we need to target specific things. We can't be everything to everybody. But if we have the plan, we can then start finding the people, right? but we have to use our words and we have to ask. I think the next step we have to focus on, and I will fight people over this one, is a clear quote process. The phone rings or we call someone. What happens next? We need a clearly defined and outlined from start to finish sales process. And this is where a lot of agencies fail. And I love to make fun of this because I lived this, and we talked about this previously, but like the producer with the napkin that just drops it on the desk and is like, here you go. They're ready to bind. And you're like, it literally has their name and the business name and nothing else.
Well, Stephen, that kind of goes to say that they don't have that clear process. And to be honest with you, it sounds like that person does not have a sales sheet that they're using. So they really should be checking out the APP, How to Sell Commercial Insurance program that we have, because that helps walk you through all of it. But whenever it comes to writing commercial business, you need to know exactly what it is you're asking for every single risk. You need to understand that risk. And if you're sticking to a typical market type, it's going to be typically the same type of questions that you're going to be asking each and every time. So you want to have that checklist so that you're not missing anything. You want to be able to send that underwriter those nice, clean submissions without them coming back saying, what about this? What about that? Because guess what? That's the further and further you get put back. And then eventually that underwriter will not want to approve anything for you. So you're messing yourself up in the market if you don't have those nice, clear quoting processes.
And then I think taking some of our skills too with the building rapport and some of those other things to find out what makes that client so special. What is their story, right? Like, why did they start the business or why are they so passionate about what they do? And like sometimes in smaller business, I had a contractor who always had Bruce the Bulldog that went everywhere with him. Home Depot, construction sites, whatever. Every time he came to the office, Bruce came to the office. And I was like, shut up, it's Bruce. And it's like you almost forget about the client sometimes when they have that special of a story, right?
Yes.
So that some of those things that we can share or remember really help build that relationship and also makes it more personal that we can share with underwriting or other companies as well, right? To make sure we're locking that in. And if we know about the client, we know about the risk, we know what's happening, and it's more than just the technical insurance robots, we can sell the story better and normally get a better quote or a faster quote turnaround. We can get negotiations on the price sometimes in commercial, which is sometimes foreign to our personal lines friends. Are like, you can negotiate rate. Some commercial carriers we can ask for discounts or surcharges. We can get credit. There's different things that are available in the commercial world, but it has to make sense to the carrier in order to offer it. And if we ask for it every time, they're not going to give it to us. So we have to know when to use it and when not. But once our submission is in, that's where we really get to shine and use our skills. We have to be able to negotiate and collaborate with underwriters. We have to really know that client well so that we can get the end result. I love talking with underwriters. We were doing some efficiency training at a conference a year ago. And I was talking about the worst clients take the most of our time, right? It's part of our time management philosophy, the time vampire. And I was talking about how we get these clients that always want their things requoted and they always want things shopped and they're always late and they don't like this and they don't like that and they only want the minimum until something happens. And I'm like, we have to prioritize our good clients, the ones that pay their bills and don't take a lot of our time over some of the time vampires. And a group of underwriters stopped me after the conference and they were like, shut up. We're going to start using this with our agent. We know exactly which ones always submit incomplete apps or just throw it at the wall and see if it sticks. And those are now going to the bottom of the pile, the ones that have the clean submission, that have the cover page, that summarize it well and tell us what we need to do and why, or ask for things with a why, are the ones that can go to the top of the pile. We have to honor them and turn those around quickly. We know who writes the good business and who doesn't, but it's a lot of times it's the deli counter. Next, 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 instead of the triage or the ER nurse that is reprioritizing. So I think if we get to know our clients and get those things in, we get better support and they tend to like us better. We have to build relationships with our underwriters. So Sarah, once we get those quotes back, how do we shine? How do we be impressive with the client.
We got to do a quote presentation. We can't just send it in an email and just hope that they look it over. We've got to actually take ownership of all the hard work we've done. We've been negotiating with underwriting.
Can we stop for just 1 second? I'm not supposed to just put it in an email that's beautifully written that says, here's your quote?
Absolutely not. You've done so much of the legwork and now it's your time to shine. It's time to get out there and let them know, hey, you brought me some concerns on the front end when we're building rapport, where this is your dream. It's not just a building to you. This is an investment. This is something that you care about. And I want to make sure that we're protecting your investment. So you want to kind of circle back with the rapport that we built on the front end, letting them know, hey, here were your challenges. Here's the coverage that protects that. We want to identify which carrier we went with. We did all that negotiating. Here's why they're fantastic. We actually talked on your behalf. We want to give them more than one option. And this is so important because I love options. If you just give them one option, then they may go get another one from another agent, right? So we definitely want to give them some options and be like, hey, here's your differences. And here's the pricing. Here's the difference between both. Which works best for you?
Mm-hmm.
This can't be the hard part. Then we got to wait. Gotta let them take a moment to absorb all that information. You gotta be quiet while they think about it. And then we kind of pivot into asking for the business. Where can I send this for signature? How do you want to set up that first payment? That's an easy way to go ahead and transition into asking for that business.
Yeah.
So definitely make sure that you've got your quote presentation down and it's a really strong final step in the commercial process.
In my mind, there's not a whole lot of rocket science between presenting to close, right? We tend to get in our own way in the process, or we're like, but they love email, but they want to text, but they want, I'm like, no, they get what I want because I know that it's what's going to get it closed, right? I needed sprinklers 2 years ago and I had somebody come to the house. I was trying to get quotes online and nobody would quote it online. And I'm like, I just want to know the price. And they're like, right, but it depends on what kind of ground you have and how many tiers your backyard is and all these things. And I'm like, I just want the price. My lawn guy's like, I can do sprinklers for you for $1,200. And I'm like, ooh, okay. And then I had a sprinkler company come out and it was $10,000. I'm like, my lawn guy will do it for $1,200. They're like, right, he's going to tie into the existing line. It's not going to be different zones. It's not going to have the sensors. It's not going to have this, and that. They're not going to be able to get to this area. And they went through all the reasons why. And they're like, here's why ours is this price and why you need to go with us. And I was like, shut up, take my money. And it wasn't because I didn't like my lawn guy. It was because they saw the pain points, explained what needed to happen. They said, we can go with the cheaper system that's going to do this, or we have this, which is what I think you need. And in the future, if you want to expand, it's really easy. And I was like, I will take the more expensive one today. Thank you. It was 10 times more than I planned on spending, but my grass is now gorgeous in the back and I'm very happy. So we need to think about those things, right? Give it, let them think, let them ask questions. But as soon as they say yes, we tell them the next steps to close. We don't let them overthink it as well.
Right.
And I think that's sometimes where we're like, wait, they said yes. Wait, let me tell you more about why. And then we overwhelm the client. So we have to take that step back. So at the end, wrapping this up, we need to get organized, but we can't overthink it, right? We just need to push forward. We can spend years crafting a plan that never comes to fruition. We need to come up with something quick. What is our plan? We need to prospect well and prospect consistently. We need to build our quote process with intention. What's going to work for our demographic? What's going to work for our team? And we have to work with our underwriters, not against them. So underwriters, you can send me gift cards or other love any way you'd like, because I just told everybody they need to work with you, not against you. Underwriters are the solution, not the problem. And when it's showtime, present your quote like the trusted advisor you are. We have to put on the show. We have to be confident. We have to go in strong. And we need to let them know why they're picking us. We do it over and over again. Our commercial book's going to grow. It's going to strengthen our agency. And we're going to build a strong network of loyal businesses who will rely on us year after year. So don't forget, we have our new commercial course that's coming out. How to sell commercial, great for trading new agents as well as cross-training agents that might sell other products. We also have our Explain and Sell Top Coverages course. You can do these live, virtually, in person, all kinds of different things. You just need to reach out to us at agencyperformancepartners.com to get more information. Any closing thoughts, my friend?
Get organized, get selling.
Get organized and get selling. We need t-shirts made. Get organized and get selling. All right, guys, we'll see you again soon.